Welcome to the GPLama YouTube channel, and today's video is all about my experience with the Cycplus T2 Indoor Smart Trainer, or more accurately, 4 of these, because I can tell you this story doesn't end very well. In fact, it doesn't start very well. And the stuff in the middle, well, that's no better either. If you've been following me along on Instagram today, you would have been equally perplexed by how an issue that I had manifests itself and how I diagnosed it. Truly bizarre and truly dangerous, resulting in me just wiping my hands of months and months of testing of this trainer and hoping the company would get it right. They've got it very, very wrong. And in fact, I'm pretty about the whole scenario. More on that later in the video. First up, the technical specifications of this unit. It's effectively a Neo 1 by design. Virtual flywheel, very small form factor, supports max power up to 2200 watts if you can get there without it slipping the virtual tire. Maximum incline 15%. Descent simulation, similar to that of the Neo 1, no calibration required, and an accuracy of plus or minus 1% claimed. The unit is silent in operation, so it ticks all the boxes. Speaking of the box, also it comes with through axle adapters, a spacer if you need that for 10 speed, a floor mat, an ant stick, and a USB extension cable. So all the added extras are a nice touch. Now speaking of touches, my first touch of this trainer number 1 that I received was back in May 2021. The issues encountered there was the power supply didn't work, the power numbers were grossly inaccurate, cadence reporting was inaccurate, not enough clearance for bikes with disc brakes. I encountered a lot of virtual tire slip, which was an issue with the Neo 1 unit. And that was occurring, if not more, on this unit. And I couldn't even complete the full Lama lab test because of those technical issues with the first unit that I received. Now, I gave them a break, the unit went back, they revised the firmware, and unit number 2 arrived many, many months later. That was December 2021. Still not enough clearance to install my bike with disc brakes, so I installed my quick release bike, and away I went. Virtual tire slip was still an issue, but the power numbers were actually very good. A quick look at those over on the DC Rainmaker analysis tool, and we can see here after a warm-up, steady state up against the PowerMax Engico and the Asioma Duos. We'll dive into the steady state. There's 200 watts and 250 watts. Always a bit of over and under with how erg works, but that's reporting very, very well. What do we have? 219, 219, 217.8. Look, that's well within spec. Very, very happy to see they got the numbers right. In the sprints, it was a little bit too jumpy in the sprints, reporting a little higher, well, a lot higher, I guess, than the other 2 power meters, but not too bad. Something they could refine later on. So this was the second version of the trainer that I had. Short over and under here, 350, 350s, holding okay-ish. When it went to 450, it didn't change resistance at all. Again, something for them to work at in the firmware and have a look at what was going on there. Again, this was all fed back to them over the time period that I've been testing the T2 trainer. Here again, a little bit overshoots in the acceleration. Now this was the second revision. This was back, the test here was January this year, after receiving this in December. So quite some time ago, but indicating here the power numbers were pretty good. Cadence estimation also looked pretty good, so what do we have? 86, 87 and 86, all looking pretty good through the steady state, and yeah, it was ticking a few boxes there. So aside from a few of the issues with the virtual tire slip, not being able to hold that 450 erg, I didn't really dig too deep with that, I just gave the data back to the team. The performance of the trainer was looking promising. Jumping ahead a few weeks, and the third Cycplus T2 unit arrived with a redesigned chassis to accommodate disc brakes, so it had more clearance. Fantastic. I thought, great, I'll put my disc brake bike on this unit and do some testing from here of the third unit. Unfortunately, the through axle wouldn't even go through. The hole for the 12mm through axle wasn't quite 12mm. So I was back to the quick release bike, and again, through my testing protocol, and I encountered the problem with virtual tire slip on positive simulated gradients and also in maximum sprints. I could almost break that resistance out and just spin the unit up. Not really ideal, but I continued through the Lama lab test, and unfortunately at the end of that testing session, the unit actually died on me. So the third Cycplus T2 unit completely failed after a hard sprint. It just flashes a red light now, the resistance is pulsating, and it's dead. After blowing up the third unit, I was done. I packed everything up, put it in the corner, sent the company the data, and that was it. I didn't want to see this trainer at all. Now, a few weeks ago, they contacted me again, and it was only out of courtesy that I said, yes, I will test another unit. Things are pretty quiet on the hardware front at the moment. So sure, let's see how far they've come. And they did mention a number of the issues that I'd identified early on had been resolved. So today I unboxed the 4th Cycplus T2 trainer, and things didn't start well from the offset, with the through axle being rusted. Yes, that was a bit of a shocker. And if you got that reference, you should be ashamed of yourself. But I carried on, and did the warm-up protocol, as I always do before the Llama Lab test, but something very, very strange happened. Something I'd never seen before. Something that didn't take too long to diagnose, but was just straight up weird. Let's play through my Instagram stories, which covered the problem in real time as I discovered it, and had a bit of fun with it as well. In today's episode of the X-Files, you'll be both amazed and I'll be scared. 1040 solar, 1030 plus, doing some testing of a trainer indoors, and the touchscreens are really, really unresponsive, like uncharacteristically shagged. I don't know what's got, so both of these, the touchscreens, weren't working very well. I thought it might have been the humidity in this room, but no, this one's fine. This one's fine. If I take this off the bike, there we go, no worries. I put this back on the bike, and it goes back to being unresponsive. Now you ready? Mulder and Scully. Unplug the trainer. And we're back to normal. I'm a little worried. The trainer in question is a Cycplus T2. Similar to that of the Neo 1 design. Has a few of the same characteristics with virtual wheel slip as well. But given whatever's going on with this, look, that's the 830 now. Unresponsive when it's on the bike or in contact with things when it's plugged in. Again, touchscreen is fine until it's back on the bike. Touchscreen becomes unresponsive. Unplug the power. Decharge the bike, and we're back being responsive. That's it. I'm going to call it a day. This is going back in the box. I can't explain what's going on there, and that's just simply too dangerous. And just to humour myself, I still have the KOM mount on from the machine radar that mounts obviously the same as the quarter turn mount. And look, this is no bullshit. I'm not making this up. That's dead. I cannot. Oh, I got a little bit of no. Alrighty, I'll unplug my new e-bike. Like, come on now. Come on, universe. What the seriously? What the absolute Friday is this? Come to think of it, this could actually be a feature of this trainer. Birth control. Can't be any good for your nuts. I don't have a multimeter, but I do have a Makey, which is a fun little kid's toy to learn about circuits and completing circuits. I've got this currently hooked up for the mouse click, hooked into just my stem bolt. That's all, just a stem bolt, and not earthed. My e-bike is plugged in. We'll turn the pedals. Oh, hello. We have mouse clicks through my stem bolt. I'll unplug my e-bike. There we go, no more power through the bike. Do you think I could charge my Di2 by riding this trainer? Another bonus. Birth control and charging Di2. They're onto something. So in short, I'd unearthed the problem with this trainer. That's actually not too bad. Sheepy, was that your writing?
That's me. Yep.
That's pretty good.
Thanks.
Much better than your shocker reference early on.
Oh, come on.
Welcome back.
Thanks, mate. Good to be back.
On a serious note, look, this probably isn't a big issue, but at the end of the day, there was power shorting out through the bike causing that issue. And the fact that my balls are sitting right on top of that bike, I'm not too pleased with having subject myself to that for 20 minutes or so. Cycplus, this is absolutely unacceptable. Your QC, QA, whatever. As you can see, I'm pretty pissed off about the whole thing, having wasted my time with 4 of these units, with each of them getting worse and worse. I am done with this trainer, and I'm not even out of first gear being pissed off here. With that, thanks for watching.